This is our last Shabbat this year.
John, your answer is yes, there are two Torahs.
2 Torahs coming out.
I hear everything in the back.
Excuse me? Next Shabbat is Nisan.
So it's Rosh Chodesh, Shabbos, yeah, 3 Torahs. It's gonna be fun.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Rose and Sunny and anyone else who's at home watching, Shabbat Shalom. We begin on page 140. Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. V'ani berov chastecha avovetecha. Eshtachave el hekol kodecha v'hiratecha. Adonai ahavti miyon beitecha u'kol mishkan kevodecha. V'ani eshtachave v'ekra evrecho lifnei Adonai hosi. V'ani tefilati lecha Adonai pratzon. Elohim berov chastecha aneheni be'emet yishecha. Middle of page 144. Elohim nishama mi'ata Kozman shehanishama bekirbi mode ani lefanecha Adonai Elohai velo heavatai rabon kol hamaasim Adon kol nishamot v'rachata Adonai
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
hamachazir nishkemot lifkedri metim. All rise, morning blessings, 146. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sakbi v'nalekafim ben yom u'ben layla.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asanu b'nei korih.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Malbish
arumim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzorki.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher echin mitzadikav her.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otei Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanotei layahev koha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'aver shenoi me'einai numami afapai. May all be seated. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu. Utenenu chayim uv'kol yom lechenu chesed ruach amim ve'necha uve'nei kol ro'enu v'tigma lenu chasadim tovim. Baruch atah Adonai. V'mel hasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Continuing with the Psalm for Shabbat, page 168. Tov lehodot l'Adonai l'me'edecha elyon.
טוב להודות על המלך שלך ולהגיד ובחסדך ולקרב בלילות ולעשור ולנבל. כי שימחתני על לבדך ונשא זכרני מגדל הזכר ומקומות שבותיך.
let us nahi sadikata mahifra ke'eretz bavanu nizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatrot Eloheinu yafrihu odinuvum beseva Dishenim veranim yihu lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzori vilho avlatabo. All rise, page 1.
John, do a regular mourner's Kaddish before we go on. I know you're saving it. That's fine, but there's a mourner's Kaddish the page before a regular one.
Okay. Mourner's Kaddish 176. Mourners will please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'almadi v'rakirutei v'yamlich malkutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedu kol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach leolam olamei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran de'alma v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom v'imrumav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Amen.
All rise, Sukkei Simra, page 180. Baruch Shemar v'chayah ha'olam Baruch Hu Baruch Ozeh Bereshit Baruch Omer v'Yoseh Baruch Ozer v'Mechahem Baruch Merachem al ha'aretz Baruch Merachem al ha'briot Baruch Mishalem Sakatov Levreha Baruch Elad v'chayah ha'am lanetzach Baruch Podeh Umatzil Baruch Shemaho Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Ha'el Ha'av Rakaman Hamuhlal B'Fi Hamo Mishubach U'Mefohar Mishubach U'Mefohar Lashon Hasidah V'Avadah Shirei David Avdecha Nalech Adonai Eloheinu V'Shvachot U'Vizmihirot V'Shvachot U'Vizmihirot Negadel Kamishbechacha U'Tvaherka V'Nasker Shemka V'Namlechecha Mahalkeinu Eloheinu Yachid Pei Ha'olamim Melech Mishubach U'Mefohar Hadei Hashemo Hagadol Baruch Ata Adonai
Baruch Shema
Melech Mezulah V'Tishbachot. Continuing with Gabbai Fran Ashrei, page 190.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Oyoelucha Selah.
Ashrei ha'Shetachalo, Ashrei ha'Asher Adonai Elohai.
Tehilat LeDavid, Aromim HaElohai HaMelech, V'Ravracha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai Hum Hulal Me'od, V'Lidodo Ein Cheker.
Dor ledor Shabbat ma'asecha, U'gvurotecha yagidu.
Adar Kavod Hodecha, V'Nifrei V'Vtecha Sicha.
Ve'ezus mevotecha yomeru, U'gvurotecha asafrena.
Secher Rav Tucha Yabiyu, V'Sitacha Yiranenu. Tov Adonai L'Hakol, V'Rachamav Kol Ma'asav.
Kol Ma'asecha V'Chasidecha Yevarchucha
Kavod malchucha yomeru, ugrotacha yadaberu.
להודיע לבני אדם גדולותיו, וכבר הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. עיניך לך יסברו, ואתה נותן לכם את גלמי איתו. צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסד בכל מעשיו. רצון רעיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיע.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו, ועורך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם, הללויה.
כוח. הללויה.
Hallelujah, 194. Hallelujah, 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 El Bekodsho, hallelujah, Birkiahu Zo, hallelujah, Benibarotahav, hallelujah, Kehirov Gudlo, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 beteka shofar, hallelujah, b'nebel v'chinor, hallelujah, betofu makoho, hallelujah, mehinim v'hugam, hallelujah, 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 b'tzil tzalei shama, hallelujah, b'tzil tzalei truah, kol shama te hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Turning back to page 152, Kibbutz Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher gidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asot b'divrei Torah v'reinu Adonai Eloheinu Beit Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar rabbanim mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Today is another trifecta requiring that 2 Torah scrolls be taken from the ark. It is Shabbat Parah, Shabbat Mevarachim, and Parashat Shemini. Shabbat Parah is the third and fourth of the 4 special Shabbatot before Pesach. It falls on the Shabbat before Shabbat HaKodesh and represents the beginning and preparations for Pesach. The special Maftir Aliyah reading in Bamidbar details the matter of the Parah Adumah, or red heifer. In the days of the temple, the priest would use the ashes of the red heifer to purify people who were ritually impure state, which would have prevented them from to be eligible to eat the meat of the paschal sacrifice. As mysterious as the Parah Adumah are the events described in this week's Parsha. God exacts death of Aaron's son, Nadab and Abihu, for presenting, quote, a strange fire before the Lord, unquote. Aaron is silent on the matter. Kosher laws and ritual purity, including the mikveh, round out the Parsha. The Haftorah describes how Uzzah was struck dead when he disrespectfully touched the Ark of the Covenant, reminiscent of Nadab and Abihu's deaths. Finally, today we bench Rosh Chodesh blessings for Nisan, the first month of the year. Nisan begins with Shabbat next week, and we will graduate to 3 Torah scrolls needing to be removed from the ark at that time. Dish Rabbanan is on page 154. Mourners will please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Almighty Barak Yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chai yichonu v'yomechonu v'chai t'kol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yesh mei rabba mevorach le'olam u'mei amaya.
Amaya.
Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu.
Brechu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran de'alma v'imru, amen.
Amen.
Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Tamidehon, v'al kol Tamidehon, v'al kol man dioskin v'oraita, di v'atra hadei v'di v'chol atar v'atar. Yehi l'chol u'l'chol shlama rabba, china v'chista v'rachamin, v'chayin arikin umsonervike umforchanamikadam v'hondi v'shamaya v'yatra v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayin tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Amen.
Osei shalom v'imrumav, hu barachamav yasei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Amen.
Continuing 196. Nishmat kol chai devarek et Shem Adonai Eloheinu v'ruach kol basar podeu matzil Lanu melech ala'ata mid milach mishmilach midrek lahak ahel gadol hagibor v'hanora el elyon konei shemayim v'ha'aretz nehalel cham sheberkacham v'ederka unvarek et shem kochekacham bor l'davihid barki nafshi et Adonai b'kol kerovahai et shem kocho
Asher kochacha, Yan.
Bruktia.
Let's continue. And with that bit of a sidebar, Shochenad 218.
Shechinad marom v'kadosh mo v'chatuv ranenu tzadikim b'Adonai l'sharim navat tehila v'fi yesharim titalav u'divrei tzadikim titbarach v'ilshon chasidim titromam u'v'kerev kedoshim תתקדש ובמקהלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל וננאי פרשמך מכן בכל דור ודור שכן חובה כה היצורים לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו להודות להלל לשבח לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך, לעלה ולקלס, על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, תביא בן ישי, עבדך משיחך, ישתבח שמך, לעד מלכנו. האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו שיר ושבחה הלל וזמרה עוז וממשלה הנצח גדולה וגבורה תהילה ותפארת קדושה ומלכות
ברכו והוראו מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני.
ברוך וברוך שמו.
אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות, אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר כשירי זמרה, מלך אלוהי העולמים.
חצי קדיש 220.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ועמד יברך ידותי וימליך מלכותי, מחייכון וביומכון ובחייך ובית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שם קודשה ברכו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן ויאמר ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. לילה 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 הכל יודוך והכל ישבחוך והכל אין כרך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה, ואין זולתך עמקנו לחיי העולם הבא. אפס פרצך גואלנו לימות המשיח, ואין דומה לך מושיענו מתחיית המתים.
228.
אל אדוני כל המעשים, ארוך ובורא בפי כל נשמה, כל נופת טובו מלא עולם, דעת ותבונה סופר במותו, המיקה אל אחיות הקודש, לדר כבוד על המרכבה, זכות ומישור לפני כיסאו. חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו, טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו, שרה בדעת ובינה ובהשכל, כוח וגבורה נתן בהם, להיות מושלים בקרב תבל, מלאים זיו ומפיקים נוגה, נזיבם בכל העולם, שמחים בצאתם, מששים בבואם, עושים מאימה רצון כהונם, פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמו, זוהלה ברינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויהי זרחות, ראה והקים סעודת הלבנה, שבח נותנים לו כל צבא מרום, תפארת וגדולה, צרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש.
230.
ואל אשר שבת מכל המעשים, ביום אשר ייתן לו אשר יעשה כבודו. ביום השבת. תברך מושיענו שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארו חסלה.
234.
תברך צורנו מלכנו וגואלנו בני קדושים, משבח שמך לעד מלכנו. וכולם פותחים את פיהם בקדושה ובטהרה, בשירה וזמרה, ומברכים ומשמחים ומפארים ומעריצים ומקדישים וממליכים את שם האל המלך הגדול הכיפות והנורא קדוש הוא. וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומלכות שמיים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה, להקדיש את רצונם בנחת רוח, בשפה ברורה ובנימה קדושה, כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים מהירה, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. והאופנים וחיות הקודש בראש גדול, מנשאים לעומת שרפים, לעומתם שבחים ואומרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
236.
ואל ברוך נעימות שיתנו, המלך נפת הכנס הנבוא. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, 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 ונזכה כולנו מהרו לאורו, ונזכה כולנו מהרו לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות.
238. Ahava Rabbah.
אהבה רבה תנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה מצדך, עמלת עלינו. אבינו מלכנו, בעבור אבותינו, שברכו בך, אבינו מלכנו. את למדנו חוקי חיים, כן תכוננו למדנו, אבינו ברוך אמן, רחם עלינו, ותן בלבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע, ללמוד ולמד, לשמור ולעשות, ולקיים בכל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. והאר עינינו בתורתך, ותדבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחל לבבינו לאהבה וליראת שמך ולא נבוש ולא נבואר ולא נבוש ולא נבואר כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בתחתון נגילה ונשמחה ישועתך.
Gather our four tzitzit.
והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו כי פה ישועת אתה ובנו בחרת מכל הבלשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול צלם באמת להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו.
הבוחר עמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
Continue individually. V'haya. Hayom. לימדתם אותם את בניכם לדבר בם בשיט. שוח בך וקומך. למען ירבו ימיכם על חטאתם. That is Vayomer 246.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לטהרותם ונתנו על ציצית על כנף את התכלת והיה לכם לציצית וזכרתם בכל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם מכל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. אמן.
Amen. 248. על הראשונים והאחרונים.
לדבר הוא קיים ושמו קיים, וחיסונך למלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיימת. שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, גואלנו גואל אבותינו, יוצרנו צור ישועתנו, פודנו מהצילנו מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך.
250.
יצרת אבותינו אתנו לעולם מגן השם. אשרי איש אישה שישמע למצוותיך ותורתך וקורח ישימה לבם, אמן אתה אדוני.
מי מצווה אותנו? רב וניסה גדול ונורא, משפיל גאים ומגביף השפלים, מוציא אסירים מפול בענבים, עוזר גלים, וחונר למוליד השלום. Top of page 252.
תהילה ליל היום ברוך וברך, משה ובני ישראל לכנו שירה, בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורות תהילות אוסף אלה, אוסף אלה, נורות תהילות אוסף אלה, אוסף אלה. שיר החדש, שיר גאולים, לשמך שפתיים, יחד כולם, פוטו והיבחו ויאמרו, אדוני עמך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומו בעזרת ישראל, הבטח דמך, יהודה וישראל, גואלנו, אדוני צבאות שבו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני,
ברוך וברוך שמו.
גאל ישראל.
We begin the Shacharit Amidah, page 255.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VeHanara El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem Le'ma'an Shemo Be'achava Melech Oser U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atarav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofech Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato Mishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Kevorot Omito Melach Melech Meni U'Mechayem U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Ata Le'achayot Metim Baruch Atah Adonai
Baruch Shemo
Mechayei Ametim
Kedusha 256.
Nekadesh Shechicha Ma'olam Keshem Shemakdishim Oto Nishmei Marom Kakatov Ayad Neviyecha V'Karazer V'Yomar Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzivaot Melocho ha'aretz kevodo Az bekol ashkadol Azim Bechazak mahashmin kol minasei V'yom atzerafim V'yom atam Baruch yomeru Baruch kevod Adonai Mimekom hamalkeinu Tofia V'timloch aleinu Ki mechakim anachnu lach Matai timloch Metzion V'karov b'yameinu Le'olam v'tishkon Titkadal V'titkadash B'toch Yerushalayim Yircha L'ador v'ador U'lenetzach netzachim V'neinu Tirena malchutecha Kadavar hamur V'shireu zecha Ayedei David Meshiach tzidkecha
Imloch Adonai le'olam Elohai Zion Ledor vador Hallelujah
לדור ודור נגיד עליך, לדור ודור נגיד עליך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך
אלוהינו
לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני.
Continue individually from 258 to 59. Vidit Olam. Am Kadesh Shvi, Am Yisrael.
Shalom bimromav, O ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael ne'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, O ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
268.
יתכתב ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ועמדתי ברכירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ומיומכון, ובחייכון בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו, אמן. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam U'Lamei Amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal Shemei l'kodesha barecho le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran me'amar v'yimaru Amen Titkabel saloton v'otchon dechol Yisrael Kodam avochoni vishmaya v'yimaru Amen. Yehi shlama rabamim shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom imromav oyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru
Amen. Let's turn to the Torah service. Ein Kamocha 3:12.
I'd like to invite Marley Steiner, who will be leading us in these prayers this morning.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai
Have compassion upon us, guard us and our dear ones, and watch over your people Israel. May it be your will to open our hearts to your Torah and to fulfill the worthy desires of our hearts and of the hearts of all your people Israel, for good, for life, and for peace. Amen.
Amen. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing upon our country and upon the leaders of our nation and of our communities. Inspire all who lead and serve to conduct their affairs honorably. May peace and security, happiness and prosperity, right and freedom abide among us. Unite the inhabitants of our country of all backgrounds and creeds, so that we may banish hatred and bigotry, safeguard our noblest ideals, and preserve those institutions which nurture liberty. May this land under your providence be an influence for good throughout the world, helping to unite all peoples in peace and freedom, and bringing closer to fulfillment the visions of your prophets. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. For the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness calm and confidence forever. Amen. Amen. Is Torah over here?
Yeah. Got it? Okay, Mariah, number 2. Okay.
Make it on your other side. 320.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadol Adonai iti, unromemo Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula, v'hagevura, v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach, v'hahon, ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, v'cha Adonai hamamlecha, v'hamitnaseh l'chol rosh, Romelu Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishachavu l'hadom raglav kadoshu. Romelu Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishachavu l'hadom kosho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
You can all be seated. And on this Shabbat Parah, we'll find the regular parasha, Parashat Shemini, page 630. So as Jan so correctly remarked earlier in his Torah teaching, today is called Shabbat Parah, the anniversary, excuse me, of Kim becoming a bat mitzvah. And we'll be turning to a special maftir reading for Shabbat Parah. Shabbat Parah is something that nobody quite understands. So when you read through it today in the English or the Hebrew, and you say, I have no idea what they're talking about, neither does anyone else, and throughout the ages. So it's a whole ritual. I won't go into the details, but the purpose of the ritual is to bring purity where there is impurity. But the person who does it goes from being pure to impure. It's very complicated. We don't understand rationally what it's all about. And so it comes under the category of what we call a chok. A chok is a form of a commandment that we can't give a rational explanation to. In our parsha, there's also a whole paragraph, a whole chapter dedicated to a chok, which is chapter 11, and that's all the laws of kashrut. You know, people give all kinds of explanations. It's for this reason, it's for that reason, that reason. The rabbis say when it all comes down to it, we observe it because we're commanded to observe it. It's not because we have a rational explanation, but this is who we are. And if you read through my Devar Torah, if I can give a little bit of a commercial about it that I sent out yesterday, you'll have a sense of my own, why my own commitment to kashrut. So we can have our own explanations, but when it comes down to it, it's a chok. Okay. So here we have, it's a time for purification. Why do we read this a couple of weeks before Passover? Every year, what's the purpose of it? A couple of weeks before Passover, we read about purifying, about cleaning out, about, getting rid of all that is impure and getting ready for all that is pure. So I think, what we would normally say is, well, we got to get our homes. We got to get our homes ready. It's all about getting rid of the chametz. Getting rid of the chametz and getting ready for Passover. But if you go a little bit deeper, it's actually a little bit more than that, maybe a lot more than that. And those who look more deeply in our tradition say, it's not only about cleaning out our homes from the chametz, but it's about cleaning out the chametz within ourselves. Cleaning out the impurities within ourselves, cleaning out the chametz within ourselves. So what does that mean, to clean out the chametz within ourselves? What does that mean? What does the chametz cause something to do? Is anybody here today? Did you ever get the feeling you're talking to the wall? Okay, it's me and you over there. Yeah, to rise, right? So the imagery is that those areas that make us rise or puffed out, our egos, our pride, that get in the way of living, of cleaning up our act. Anybody ever say to you when you were a kid growing up, you got to clean up your act? Huh? Yeah, got to clean up your act. So it's not only when we're kids, it's all of us have that need now. What are the things that get in your way of being purer than you are right now? Okay, don't everybody answer at once. Actually, it's a rhetorical question. I read an article this week that it said the one main issue for Vladimir Putin that gets in the way? It was his ego, his pride, I'm not sure that it can all be boiled down to one thing. The man has a lot of issues, there's a lot of people that have too much ego and too much pride. They don't go around killing kids. But, here for him, it is this overwhelming pride in the greatness of what Russia once was, the Russian Empire. And when the Russian Empire was the Russian Empire, Ukraine was part of the Russian Empire. And if he's going to restore the Russian Empire, which is his goal, then he's got to sweep Ukraine back into the fold of Russia, the Russian Empire. And if that means killing innocent people, women, children, babies, it may bother you, it doesn't bother him at all. He doesn't lose any sleep at night because it's all for a greater purpose. It's for the pride of Russia, the pride of the Russian Empire. So this is a time for us to think about, how our pride, our egos get in the way. And how we can clean out within us what needs to be cleaned out, and we can become cleaner and purer. Any reactions to that? There's a typical reaction to that. Anyone? No, so what people often say is, wait a second, Rabbi, that's what we do on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Why now? Why now? Why now? I just want to finish the thought, and then I'm glad to see two people that are. Years ago, it was in the 90s, we had the really special, it was more than special evening, we had Elie Wiesel with us. And we had a dinner with him before the public lecture. And when I went to sit down, I had the honor of sitting next to him. I went to sit down next to him, and just out of the blue, he said to me, it was kind of like an odd question. He said, why is it that after Yom Kippur, and then we daven Mariv, right? And in Mariv we say, Salach lanu Avinu ki chatanu. Forgive me, Avinu, tatinu, that I have sinned. We just got done asking to forgive all of our sins. What could we possibly have done between the sounding of the shofar and the Amidah? That was so terrible. Well, if we need to say Salach lanu Avinu right after Yom Kippur, here we are 6 months later. Any of you go for a 6-month checkup to any kind of a doctor? I don't know, whatever it is, get your teeth cleaned every 6 months, right? You just got them cleaned 6 months ago. We need to clean them again. No, you need it. So we do need to think about at this time our inner selves and how over the past, we've just become a little too puffed up and puffed out. And how does that get in the way? How can we get rid of that? Not only the chumetz in our house, but the chumetz in our souls. Okay, Eileen and Iris, if you have a name that begins with an I, you're invited to speak today. Go on.
Or an E.
You want to spell it with an E? Iris spells it with an I. Okay. Okay, go. Oh, yeah. Go. You go first. That's right. That gets you into second place pretty fast. Go on.
Just because we should be doing it all the time, it shouldn't be just on Passover or just on Yom Kippur. We should want to cleanse ourselves. We should be honest all the time, and I don't think it should be just then. It should just continue all year. I think we should always be that way.
So just for those who couldn't hear Iris just said, those who are at home, I don't think it should be just at a given time, once or twice a year. It should be every day. So Iris, what percentage of the population would you say thinks about this on a daily basis.
Oh, God. Maybe the rabbis and the cantors. The rabbis and the cantors. Whatever percentage that is, because, and people who are very religious, but very, or honest. I want to be honest and do good things all the time.
Yeah, I think cantors think about it every day, but I think you're being overly kind that rabbis think about this every day. Yeah, I don't know, but we should. There are rabbis who are known to be kind of like pompous individuals. They're not thinking about it every day. So, right. So, but if we don't think about it every day, at least it comes Yontif, it comes Pesach, we ought to be thinking about it, right? But you're right, Iris. Think about it every day. Okay, Eileen with an E.
I think that as Jewish people today, we have this responsibility to, and it's a task to balance not being too filled with pride and yet not letting our guard down and not being considered weak. I think with anti-Semitism on the rise, and whether it's overt or covert, I think that we always have to be aware of that. And so I think sometimes that may be the reason that we see whether it's a sense of pride or a sense of strength. We have to be careful to balance that. So even though we're aware of everything, we don't let our guards down.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. For those who are home, Eileen just said, just to summarize it in a sentence or two, that that we have to maintain a certain sense of pride in who we are. Around Sukkot time, I always ask the kids about, what does the lulav represent? It represents the spine standing up straight. I always ask the kids, what are you proud about? Finish the sentence. I am proud to. No, there is the positive side of pride. There's no question. Listen, unbelievable, these Ukrainians. The way they're fighting, that's pride. That's healthy pride in their country, in who they are, the desire for freedom. That's pride. That's pride that doesn't get in the way. It's pride that paves the way. So, like anything else, you're absolutely right. There's healthy pride, and then there's unhealthy pride, right? And there's dangerous pride, but there surely is healthy pride. Yeah.
Rabbi,
Yes,
can I
Candace.
say something? What
Yeah, sure.
Eileen just said just reminded me.
You know what? Maybe just
Yeah,
use the
my
microphone.
mic's on.
Oh, you got it
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Okay.
No, just what Eileen was just saying, it just reminds me of the line in Ein Kamocha. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et emo v'shalom. It's that dichotomy of having the strength that God gives us, but also blessing us with the peace. So having that balance, and I talk to my B'nai Mitzvah students about this all the time. How is it that we can have both of those things at the same time? Is it possible? And you're absolutely right. I think there is a way to balance those things. So that just reminded me of that particular Ein Kamocha line. So
Yeah, no, that's great. And when I'm using the term ego, I'm using it in a very colloquial sense. Don't let your ego get in the way, because if you use it more in a psychological sense, the healthy person psychologically has a healthy ego. That is the core of the healthy, emotionally healthy individual. So yeah, you need to have a strong, a healthy ego. But colloquially, too many people let their egos get in the way. I had a disagreement with somebody. I'm right. They can't be right. I'm right. That's ego getting in the way, right? So let me just suggest that Jan have the last word. Go on, Jan.
Well, there's an expression in learning and in computers that it's not important what you know, it's only important that you can look it up, that you know how to look it up if you need to know it. But I think with Judaism, it's the exact opposite. It's not important what you can look up. It's important what you know. And the reason is that the nitty-gritty is when you're confronted with a situation that's very grayish, where you don't know right from wrong, you don't know what you should be doing. It's at that moment when you don't have time to really consider all the ramifications that are everywhere, where it's the homework that you put into learning what it is that's the right approach to a situation that kicks in, and that's what you need. It's kind of like homework.
Yeah, it's great. So when I was in rabbinical school in the late 70s and early 80s, we were taught similarly, you don't need to know everything, you just need to know where to find everything. So when they taught us that, their meaning was that you needed to know what great holy books to go to, whether it was the Shulchan Aruch, whether it was the Rambam, whether it was the Gemara, the Talmud. You needed to know where to go, and sometimes the first book that you went to wasn't going to be the one that would bring you to another great book. But you needed to know where you could find it. From 1977 to 1982, they had no idea that today what we do is we ask the question to Google and we get the answer just like that, right? So you don't need to know it, you just need to know where to go. And yeah, great. No, it's true, Jan. It's very true. Okay, so let's start cleaning the chametz out this week, wherever our chametz is. And we're going to begin the reading of the Torah for this parashat Shemini, and we'll be celebrating Kim's anniversary as a bat mitzvah.
Chapter 11, verse 1.
Miriam HaKohen, Baruch Shenatan Torah Lemoshe Rabbi Shado, Vaytam Adbegim B'Rana V'Hechem, thank you him, Ayo. Baruch es Adonai HaBorach, Baruch Adonai HaBorach Le'olam Bo'eh, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bochar banu mikol ha'amim, v'nasan lanu es Torah, so baruch atah Adonai. Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe v'Aharon lemor alehem. Daberu el bnei Yisrael lemor zod hachaya asher tochelu mikol habehema asher al haaretz kol mafreset parsa v'shosa'at shesa pirasot ma'alei geraba behema ota tochelu ach etzelo tochelu mima'alei hagera umi mafrisei haparsa et hagamal ki ma'alei geherahu farsa einenu mafris tamehu lapem.
Eloheinu melech olam, asher nasalanu Torah semes, v'chayei olam notah b'sochenu, baruch atah Adonai, Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Just a note, we're within chapter 11, the chapter dealing with kashrut, and now we're on verse 5, 638.
Ya'amdu Zevelo Ben Shmuel Ben Recholeah Ben Mirabat Shlomo, Behinda, Yaakov, Michael,
Not yet.
Tova Hadar, Sheni.
Jan. Give them a couple of pages to fill out. I did. Oh, you did? Okay.
Baruch Adonai Haborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Hu Shemo. Amen.
Amen. V'yata shafan ki male gerahu ufarsa lo yafris temehu lachem v'yata aranevet ki ma'alat gerahi ufarsa lo hifrisa teme'ahi lachem v'yata chazir ki mafris parsahu Veshosa shesa parsa vehu geralo yigar tmehu lachem vivasaram lo tochelu uvin haltam lo tigau tmeim hem lachem.
Baruch Hu Shemo. Amen.
Amen. Yasher Kol.
Are we doing Mishnah Berurah now or straight away? Mishnah Berurah.
There's three that are left here. No, right now.
So we'll be offering a Mishaberach prayer now for all those who are dear to us who are ill. Happy to report that Rose was with us for a Mariv service this week. Rose, if you're with us, I'm looking right at you right now, and I hope your healing is continuing. Alan, who had surgery a couple of weeks ago, is recovering healing as well and doing well. So for all those who are in need of healing and strength, we offer this prayer. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et את כל החולים הקרובים לנו אנחנו מתפללים שהקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם להחלימם ולרפאותם וישלח להם במהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים רפואת הנפש רפואת הגוף לכל איבריהם וגידיהם בתוך שאר חולי ישראל Shabbat himili za'ok refuah krova lavo hashta ba'agala uvizman kariv v'nomar Amen.
And
filling with refuah shlema. The renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We'll continue with Shlishi with the third Aliyah.
Ta'amad. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Esther bat Hershel v'simei shlishi.
What a kibitzer that Jan is. What a kibitzer. Joke a minute.
Oh, we're on 9, verse 9, chapter 11, verse 9.
Baruch Shemo.
Amen.
Amen. Et ze tochelu mikol asher b'mayim, kol asher lo senapir v'kaskeset b'mayim bayamim, uvinchalim otam tochelu v'chol asher en lo senapir v'kaskeset b'mayim ובנחלים מכל שרת המים ומכל נפש החיה אשר במים שקט הם לכם ושקט יהיו לכם מבשרם לא תאכלו ואת נבלתם תשקצו כל אשר אין לו סנפר וקסקסת במים שקט הוא לכם.
Baruch Shemo. Amen.
Amen.
I was surprised when she said yes.
Happy to have him. Yeah. Let's make some room for the Chatzah.
Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Amen.
Yivrachi v'tevim l'chmachutei.
Mechayev Adam Yom Echad, V'chayetecho et Yisrael, B'gala, B'gala.
V'bizman kavri. V'imanu. Amen.
Is it there?
Shemei
Oh,
rabba.
that's no, you got it. I'm asking where is it? It's in Pinchas now?
I would imagine something.
For Rosh Chodesh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalach, shemei d'kudashah, v'yitechu, le'elam, mikol birchata, v'shihirata, tushbechah,
Mata, Dama Mila Miyama.
v'yimeru,
Amen.
All rise for the lifting and wrapping of the Torah. Ta'amad Chechazan Chana Miriam Bat Ovadia Ephraim B'Sar Chava Orna Shlomi Hamaria Tacha Ya'amod Zev Ben Haskil Be'edes Hagolel Roll the tops of the Torah together. Listen.
Ashla
I can just roll it myself, I think. No, just 1 second. Tovu ohalecha Yaakov, Yishkotecha Yisrael. Here we are. It's all yours.
Perfect timing.
Okay.
Ta'amod Reze Dvora Bat Shmulei V'Yerchana Maftir Hazah.
Kim, 880. Come touch the Torah if you'd like.
Let me just tell you what page we're on. We're turning to page 880 for Shabbat Parah, 880. The Parah Aduma, the red heifer.
Amen. Amen. V'yadaber Adonai el Moshe v'el Acharon lemor Zot chukat haTorah asher tiva Adonai lemor Daber el bnei Yisrael v'yichu elecha v'raduma tamima asher ein bam mum asher lo Allah aleha oh unetatem ota el Elazar hakohen v'chotzi ota el michutz lemachaneh v'shachat ota lefanav V'lachach Elazar hakohen midama be'etzba'o v'hizah el nochach p'nei el moed midama shevet pa'amim.
Baruch V'Shmo. Amen. Yeah, well, rise with
No.
Slicha. Oh, Slicha, sorry.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
One thing at a time.
Kim. So Kim, today we're celebrating with you your anniversary of becoming a bat mitzvah. Tell us where it was and maybe a best memory you have. As you can see, this is totally unrehearsed.
So it was March 25th, 1989, at Temple Beth Torah. It was in Somerton, Bustleton, Renard and Audubon. Am I getting that right? Oh, I might be messing it up.
Bustleton Somerton Synagogue.
Bustleton Somerton
Synagogue.
Synagogue.
Not Beth Torah.
Not Beth Torah,
Right.
Torah. Sorry. Bustleton, is that what it was called? Bustleton Somerton Synagogue?
Yeah, then they called it Beth Judah.
Beth Judah was called, that's what it might have been when I was there. So,
I'm not even going to ask you who the rabbi was.
I do remember the rabbi. I could picture him. He had a black beard, like all rabbis might. But what I remember is apparently, you weren't able to videotape it. So I have some family who's watching right now and will tell you, apparently, I did it faster than anyone had ever heard a Haftorah been chanted. Now, I thought I did pretty good, but apparently when I got off, there was like laughter and things. Like people were laughing about how fast and we don't have any video of it because even it was a Sunday morning, but still, no, there's no video. So my goal today is to redeem myself and go slow, not too slow because it's kind of long, but to redeem myself.
Can't wait.
So I was going to say, until you said I'm going to go slow today, but I was going to ask you if they invited you to come back and do another Haftorah soon.
No,
because the congregation loves fast Haftorahs. Yeah,
true.
you know, like you know.
It was not Orthodox, no. It was a conservative shul.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And as long as you can picture the rabbi, that's all that,
I
counts.
can picture him.
Yeah, yeah.
Blum? Is it possible?
Oh yeah, Barry Blum.
Barry Blum.
Yeah. He was a young guy.
Young guy.
Yeah. At that time. Right. We're about the same age, Barry and I. Yeah. So, first I'd like to give you a gematria, which I think, Kim, is the perfect gematria for you. This word comes from the Torah, and the word is kocha. Kocha. So, you take the Hebrew word koach, right, which is strength, and kocha, you put the hey on the end, and it means her strength. Her strength. It means your strength. And I see your strength in you. I think everyone who knows you sees your strength. It's really a great strength. It's a beautiful strength that you express in many different ways. And I think it's really the right fit for a word and you on this anniversary of becoming a bat mitzvah. So if I can offer this blessing, Misheberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah, Hu Yevarech et Reze Devora bat Shmuel v'Yudel Chana al Aliyata לחגוג, הגיעתה לגיל 13, הבת מצווה שלה, אנחנו מתפללים שהקדוש ברוך הוא יברך אותה בשלום ובריאות, בברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיה, עם כל ישראל אחיה, ונאמר אמן. I just want to point out that when Kim was bat mitzvah, they had already invented recording devices.
Yes.
They were around. We didn't use them in the synagogue.
They were
in those days.
big.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's not that long ago. Yeah. When I was bar mitzvah, it was a different story. Don't go too far, Kim, because you're doing the Haftorah. Yeah. Oh, get to go. Okay. Let's all rise.
Ya'amod Shlomo Yaakov ben Stephen Tzipora Magbiha Ta'amod Yisrael Abad Bevel HaKohen Miriam Hagol Nelet
Vezot HaTorah Asher Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Al Pi Adonai Be'ad Moshe
על שלושת דברים, על שלושת דברים, על שלושת דברים, העולם עומד. על שלושת דברים, על שלושת דברים, על שלושת דברים. התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים.
So we'll be able to follow Kim's chanting of the special Haftarah for Shabbat Parah on page 1287. It is chapter 36 of the book of Ezekiel. And we can all set our watches now. It's 11:25 exactly. And we'll see how long this takes. Okay, Kim, it's all yours.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hana'amarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'v'Moshe avdo Uv Yisrael amo, uvimviei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
Yeah, take your mask off.
Vayehi devar Adonai Elai lemor ben Adam Beit Yisrael yoshvim al admatam Vayitamu ota bidarkam uvalilotam ketumat hanida haita darkam lifanai vashpo chamati alehem al hadam asher shafchu al haaretz uvgilu lehem timuha Vafitzotam bagoyim vaizaru baratzot kedarkam v'chalilotam shefatim vayavo el hagoyim asher ba'u sham vayikalalu et shem kodshi b'mor lahem am Adonai ele Umei artso yatzau v'echmo Hashem kodshi asher chileluhu be'ei Yisrael bagoyim asher ba'u shama lachen emor levei Yisrael ko amar Adonai Elohim lo lima'anchem Ani Yosef Beit Yisrael Ki l'shem kodshi Asher chilaltem Bagoyim Asher batem sham V'kidashti Et shemi hagadol Hamchulal Bagoyim Asher chilaltem B'tocham V'yadu hagoyim Ki ani Adonai, Ne'um Adonai Elohim, V'hi kodshi v'achem leinehem. V'lakakti etchem min hagoyim, V'kibatzti etchem mikol haratzot, V'heveti etchem el admatchem. V'zarakti alechem mayim torim utartem mikol tumotechem umikol gilu lechem ataher etchem v'natati lachem lev chadash v'ruach chadasha etem b'kirbechem v'asiroti et lev ha'even mibsarchem v'natati lachem lev basar v'et ruchi etem b'kirbechem v'asiti et asher bechukai telechu umishpatai tishmeru v'asitem V'yivshavtem ba'aretz asher natati la'avotechem v'yitem li le'am ve'anochi eyeh lachem le'elohim v'hoshati etchem Mikol tumotechem, v'karati el hadagan, v'hir beiti yoto, v'lo eten alechem rav, v'hir beiti et peri ha'etz unuvat hasadeh leman asher lo tichu od cherpat rav bagoyim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol alamim, tzadik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'neman ha'omer v'oseh, amdaber umkayem, shekol devarav emevat tzedek. Neman atahu Adonai Eloheinu, v'nemanim devarecha, v'daver echad midvarecha, achor lo yashuv rekam, ki amelech neman v'rachaman atah, baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch u'baruch shemo.
ha'el ha'neman b'chol devarav.
Amen.
Rachem al Tzion ki hi bechayenu, v'lalu v'nefesh toshia, b'mheira v'yameinu, baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch u'baruch shemo.
Misameach Tzion b'vaneha.
Amen.
Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu, b'Eliyahu hanavi avdecha, Malchut Beit David Mishichecha, b'mheira yavo v'yagali beinu, al kiso lo yeshev zar v'lo yinchalu od acherim et kvodo, ki v'shem kodshecha nishbatalo shel yichbed ne'ro li'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai
Baruch u'baruch shemo.
Magen David.
Amen.
Al haTorah v'al ha'avodah v'al hanvi'im v'al yom haShabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod ultifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anaknu modim lak umvarachim otak yiparak shimcha befi chai tamid li'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Kim, that was about the perfect pace.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Perfect pace. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's all rise. We need one person so far to hold the Torah. Michael, are you a Torah holder? Roy, you're holding a Torah? If you're coming up, then take the other Torah. Yeah.
Thank you, perfect.
Let's turn to the prayer for Medinat Yisrael, page 332.
Should we do the blessing for the month first?
That's on the next page.
Okay. We'll follow the pages. Got it.
Yeah.
Adonai Eloheinu, Tzor Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, v'hagen aleha.
We ask your blessings, O God, for the state of Israel, for the land of Israel, and for the people of Israel. Bless those who defend the land and protect its people. Bless its leaders with wisdom, courage, and dedication. May they be resolute in the face of challenge and unwavering in the pursuit of justice and peace. May Israel be a beacon of hope for the oppressed,
a source of inspiration to all who are free. Fulfill in our day the ancient promise, Zion v'mishpat tipadeh, v'shareha b'tzedakah. Zion shall be redeemed through justice, and its inhabitants through righteousness. Amen.
Amen. And so, we turn now to the Rosh Chodesh Benchen, Birkat HaChodesh, announcing the new month, 334.
יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, שתחדש עלינו את החודש הבא לטובה ולברכה, ותיתן לנו חיים ארוכים, חיים של שלום, חיים של טובה, חיים של ברכה, חיים של פרנסה, חיים של חילוץ הצמות, חיים שיש בהם יראת שמיים ויראת חטא, חיים שאין בהם בושה וכלימה, חיים של אושר וכבוד, חיים שתהי בנו אהבת תורה ויראת שמיים, חיים שימלאו משאלות ליבנו לטובה, אמן סלע. מי שעשה ניסים לאבותינו וגאל אותם מעבדות לחירות, הוא יגאל אותנו בקרוב וכיבס נדחנו מארבע כנפות הארץ. חברים, חברים כל ישראל, חברים כל ישראל, ונאמר אמן. ראש חודש ניסן יהיה ביום שבת קודש. שמה עלינו ועל כל ישראל לטובה. יחדשהו הקדוש ברוך הוא עלינו ועל כל עמו בית ישראל לחיים ושלום לששון ושמחה, לישועה ולנחמה, ונאמר amen.
The new month of Nisan will begin on Shabbat Kodesh, next Shabbat. May it be a month of goodness for us and for all Israel. In the new month containing our holiday of freedom, Chag Hamatzot, Passover, Pesach, may the Holy One, praised be God, bless us and the household of Israel with life and peace, joy and gladness, deliverance and comfort, and let us say Amen.
Amen, amen, amen.
I'll turn now to the service for replacing the Torah to the Aron Kodesh. 340, Hallelujah.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו על ארץ ושמיים, וירם קרן לעמו. תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובו. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Chaim hi lamachzikim ba etonchecha ve'ushar terachecha darcheinu v'chol netivotecha shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chodesh Chodesh Yameinu Chodesh Yameinu
Koach, folks. Michael, koach.
Nice to have you back up here.
So, folks, I want to take a few moments to talk together. And I want to begin by raising this question. And the question is, what will be the right time to make the wearing of a mask optional within the synagogue? When will that time come? Yeah, so the question is, do we wait for the high holy days? Do we wait for the summer? Do we wait for Shavuos? And I see some of you are ready to take your masks off. And you know what? I am too. Well, there's a lot of things to be said. They're talking now about not requiring masks on flights. You can wear it, of course. You can wear it. You can wear two, but it's not going to be. It will soon, it seems like, not be required. So when I say what will it take to go to optional masks, look, I assume that all of us here have been boosted once, right? In addition to vaccinated, and now they're calling for a second boost, and I imagine that we'll all go and get a second boost, right? So how many we really need, God only knows. But if they're offering it, CDC says it's a good idea. I guess it's a good idea. And the reality is that if somebody comes down with COVID today, somebody says I have COVID. It doesn't mean what it meant 2 years ago. I mean, that meant that there was a possibility of dying, especially if you had certain conditions or you were over a certain age. And, many of us lived with a considerable fear. I think the reality is far different today. If you're vaccinated, boosted, and now, if you find out that you're testing positive, you want to do this within the first 5 days, you go to your doctor and you get a prescription for the Pfizer pill or whatever company you like best, and the chances are you're going to be okay. So I say this for a couple of reasons. For those of us who are here, I don't know who enjoys wearing a mask. Someone told me that on cold days it was very good because, it kept you warmer, your breath, and then your face was warm. But we're not outside, and it's not terribly cold in here, and I think it is a sense of discomfort for a lot of us, and we're wearing it, for whatever reason. I'm just 1 second, Jan. Yeah, I have to say I've never said this in 46 years. You know what? I've never said what I'm going to say right now. in 46 years. Our numbers in the synagogue are sad. This is sad. You know, it feels like a second day of a Yontif when we just about make a minyan. But for Shabbat morning, the weather's fine, it's sad. Well, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure that people are afraid to come right now. That could be. And I think the other side of the coin is people don't want to come and sit for 2.5 hours with a mask on. That's the other side of the coin. The other thing is, and folks, to those of you who are with us on live stream, let me say that if there is a particular need for the live stream, meaning that you're hundreds of miles away or even 100 miles away, or you're not in a condition to leave the house, but I think the days of watching the service on Zoom or live stream, just because it's comfortable for me to sit home and watch it, that's ultimately not the fulfillment of communal prayer. We used it while the COVID was at its height, but those days are over, and it's really time to come back and be a Jew in the pew, right? It's not supposed, let me just say it again, it's not supposed to be for my personal convenience, you know? I know, well, okay, so in there, right. Yeah, and I'm worried, and people are asking the question, will we ever rebound in our numbers? Is this it? Okay, Jan, you wanted to say.
Rabbi, I just wanted to ask the question, Rizot Detra, am I wearing this mask for my benefit, or am I wearing this mask for everyone else's benefit? How I would answer that question would say whether I would wear a mask or not. In other words, if people in here feel that my wearing the mask is important for their health, I will wear the mask. If it's my personal choice, just because I wear it for my own protection, that's all.
Okay, so that's a fair question. You know, it's also very interesting. We're sitting here wearing masks. Because of our numbers, you talk about seating, separate seating. Boy, oh boy, we're not even using almost half of the sanctuary. You could have a whole area to yourself here. And then we go into the social hall for the Kiddush, and we're sitting around. Last week we had it was a crowded table, but we're drinking a cup of coffee and we're eating, and nobody has a mask on. So we're all sitting around a table facing each other, with our mouths open, and nobody got up to say, I'm really uncomfortable sitting here like this. But in here we're sitting, look, for me, Jan, I don't. Everybody's got to speak for themselves. For me, it's like window dressing, because do I feel I need it up there? No. Do I think my germs are going to spread to you? No. But if the rule is that we're wearing it, so I'll wear it too. Do I enjoy wearing it? No. You wanted to say something else?
Yeah,
Iris, yeah.
I was at my retinologist last week, and for the longest time, no one was allowed to come in with me. Morty had to sit in the car for 2 hours, whatever the weather was, and we all wore masks. And when I went in this time, he was allowed in, and masks were optional.
Yeah.
So only 1 or 2 people put masks on. Probably the ones that, I don't know. I was a little nervous. I didn't wear one, but
Yeah. No, thank you, Iris. It's interesting. I want to see somebody who's in the former Abramson Center. Actually, Anna's there. She's technically she's in rehab. So I called and I said, are visitors able to come? And I was actually expecting them to say no. And it was like a non-question for the gal on the phone. Of course, yeah. Like, things things have changed while we weren't looking, or maybe while we were looking. Yeah. Yes, Jerry.
I wear the mask all the time because I have a compromised immune
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
my treatment. So,
Yeah.
but the question is, what does OHEB want to do? When is the board yourself going to pull the plug? Say we don't need the masks, or we don't have to have Zoom anymore. There's only 16 people here today, and the two clerks, 18 of us
Hi.
probably. That's a good luck. But,
So Jerry, you would personally continue wearing the mask because of being immunocompromised? A little while longer.
I
But
go into the markets and shopping, I wear the mask.
yeah, so do I. So do I. Because I don't know who's in there. You know, like go into the post office. I don't know if the guy right next to me is even vaccinated at all. I'm not going to ask him. But it wouldn't bother you, it sounds like you're saying, if other people didn't have a mask on. Okay.
When do you think you'll pull them off?
Well, it's really, I think, a decision that the cantor and I are going to make together.
It's good for us to hear your opinions about this as well, because it helps us create a better idea of what we want to do.
Yes, Michael.
Tomorrow afternoon is the Men's Club Man of the Year program. I forget which shul down in.
It's an AJ.
AJ.
It's an AJ.
I'm going to be very curious. I mean, they now, originally they had said masks would be required when they first opened registration. Now they've modified it. You must be vaccinated, show proof. Masks will be optional. I usually wear a mask almost everywhere. I mask when I shower. I mean, but seriously, it's a matter of, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm very careful. I have enough alcohol. I would probably fail a breathalyzer test. But I don't know for sure, especially when I go shopping in most public places. It's kind of an honor system. I hope everybody around there is vaccinated. I don't know who they are. I don't know whether they maintain the same safe practices that most of us do. So I say, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world. I wear it most places. But I'll be curious to see, for instance, tomorrow, how many people keep their masks on when we're not eating, and how many people just, go mask free. It'll be interesting.
So, by the way, I would have been at the dinner. I love Marty Rudolph. I have a wedding tomorrow, so I can't be there. But so it's so interesting, Michael. In many ways, we have been, to use a rabbinic term, machmir. We have been stricter in our policy. But I think that a lot of places, who were strict have eased up. So you're going to go there and have dinner, right? We're still using packaged goods here. So, it seems like in a lot of ways, it may be time for us to, also when you say you still have to register, wear a mask, I think people say, the message is it's not safe. It's not safe, right? And if you're invited to a dinner, they're basically saying it's safe. Come, enjoy. We don't have to be on Zoom anymore, right? Yes, Fran.
Two things. One was just reminding me where we live in the Regency.
Yeah.
We had to have verified that we have been triple vaccinated. Otherwise, we can't use the pool, the clubhouse, and so forth.
Right.
So, I don't know if OHEB kind of had to show something early that we were vaccinated, now we just come in. But, I don't know, how could OHEB do that? I mean, like, the fob won't work if you're not vaccinated? I mean, how else, I don't know how else we could do that here.
Well, the issue is on a regular Shabbat.
Right.
We know each other, right? What we will do for a bar or bat mitzvah, that's another question. That's another question. So there's all kinds of questions, but I'm really talking about like a day like today. If to tell you the truth, Like if we had some event that brought in 400 or 500 people, let's just say, I think I'd want everybody wearing a mask. You know, I don't want to sit with 400 or 500 people because just a percentage of them, you know, might be. But you know, how much harm can we do each? Yeah, go on, Mark.
So what we've done is we sign a form that reads, see that we've got postage,
Yeah.
and then they turn on your file. So if you don't return the paper,
Oh,
the file doesn't work.
oh, it's interesting. Right.
I mean,
Okay.
in the very beginning, when we started the Shabbat signups to come back into sanctuary, everybody had uploaded their cards and their vaccinations. So when you sign up for Shabbat and you've already done that, we don't ask for it again because we already have it on file. So it's the knowledge of comfort knowing that everything is, anybody who walks in this building is safe. But yes, but I think Rabbi's right. When we have a bar mitzvah in this space, I think it's just for the larger benefit for everyone to be masked. And we'll continue doing those things, I think, at least until we feel more comfortable to change the regulations when it comes to bar mitzvah. But that's still a conversation that has more length to it. Melissa, is your hand up? Yeah.
I was thinking the consistency among all of the area schools. I don't know if there's some kind of collaborative group to be discussed, because I just know from friends of ours in different schools, the policies are very different from here. I think when taking these changes, you know, into effect, I think you should be, because maybe that's also contributing to fewer people coming because they see other places. Other schools don't have signups anymore. Other schools are open more for, you know, larger events per se. So I think consistency among our counties and our area schools would be a good rule of thumb to try and open things up better here, so that nobody looks at OHAB in a different light as opposed to X synagogue or Y synagogue. I think that would be a good thing to really consider.
Great.
Thanks, Melissa.
Okay, so I think we have a sense of,
We do.
you know,
Yeah.
those who are courageous enough to actually come into the synagogue, how we feel sitting here today. I think we have a sense. Shep, do you want to?
Well, you're not a medical person, and I don't want to scare anyone. But, you know, you have heard things about Omicron, new variants of Omicron in Europe, and this is, and I read this in something that the New York Times, they discovered that even mild cases of Omicron can inflame the brain, and they're not sure how permanent it is. So I'm just reporting what I read. I'm not a doctor, but I'm not 100%.
But you used the title. But you used the title.
No, I don't.
You're a PhD, aren't you?
Yes. No, I never.
I was kidding, actually.
It has come up. Anyway, I mean, my mother doesn't consider me a doctor, for sure.
Oh.
But anyway, I'm just, I guess, bringing these up for discussion.
Well, you know, Shep, you know, there's no guarantee that things will remain as stable as they are right now. And God knows, you know, this new variant or something, things could, you know, bounce back, and in which case, you know, we'd have to reinstitute. Look, we all know that we take a chance every time we cross the street or drive the car or whatever. There's always what can go wrong. And the question is, what is a reasonable risk that you're taking at anything that you do? And I don't think we'd ever say no masks are permissible. So if somebody feels like, you know what, I need the added level of protection.
And I think,
Kim?
I think at this point.
A word from a nurse.
At this point, I think it is safe to say that there isn't, people walk around with masks, it's okay. Nobody blinks an eye anymore.
Right.
We're so used to it.
Right.
So if everybody in this room decided, and it was optional, to not mask, but I came in with a mask on, nobody would care.
Right, that's
Nobody-
right.
And I think everybody, most people would feel confident enough that if they choose to wear a mask, they can wear a mask, and there's no, why are you wearing a mask? Is something wrong with you, or
Right.
do you know something?
Right, correct, right.
We've evolved, but to your statement, what we know is that we have no idea what's coming. So, right now,
So, and along these lines, just being honest, Cornell, at Cornell University, they started testing the students and they discovered a very much higher fraction who had the virus. Now, they're college students, like, they're nature, they're risking,
Right.
but they survived.
Yeah. We actually do have an MD sitting here, so Fred?
Take my mask off, just to prove a point. You have herd immunity, you say, right? But if I'm not wearing a mask, and everyone else is, I get the protection of the mask, just as if there was herd immunity, so it runs with the numbers. If the mask does something, and actually most of them don't, that's the problem. I asked my middle daughter, who's a postdoc researcher at NIH, and she says, masks really are not necessary.
Masks are not worth it.
Masks are not worth it, Fred says, according to
Well,
his
I
daughter.
have to tell you, Fred, I've been wearing a mask religiously. And when I went to Israel, I bought myself these I-95 masks because I figured, I'm going to be on the plane and I want to be as protected as I possibly can be. It was so uncomfortable. Having it on 2 minutes was unbearable. I said, you know what, God, listen, I'm going to Israel. Give me a break. I'll wear a mask, but, so, yeah, okay.
And I'll be honest with you, Fred, too, what your daughter is saying. I've been wearing this N95 mask, the same kind of thing. I've had COVID twice. And I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm indirectly pointing fingers at my children's daycare because they are around families who may or may not take the proper precautions. And whether or not the daycare, and they have been to the T very, very careful up until PA gave on February 27th, said the masks were no longer mandated. So, and then that's when everything went down. So, it really is a toss-up. I myself, if we become optional, I will continue to wear it for my own personal safety because we just can't take any more sickness in our house. But that's a personal choice. But we should be able to give everyone that choice for themselves too.
My oldest daughter is in RN, and he has a 4-year-old that's in daycare. He comes back with positive COVID test. She who has had every immunization that you could have, and she comes down with the raised variant, very mild case.
Right.
Basically asymptomatic positive test. So they spent a week in isolation at home. And that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, and, I'm sorry, Fred, go ahead, Fred, yeah. You good?
So you get it from the kids. The kids probably transmit this more easily
Sure.
than the adults.
Sure.
Right.
Just like they get every cold virus.
Right.
Within the first couple of years. And then once they get their self-immunization, immunity from that, then they're fine.
Yeah.
That's why you always see a kid with like
Always. I know from firsthand.
Michael, you've been waiting patiently. You have the last. Yeah, all right.
Last night we had a nice turnout. We had about 88.
Fabulous.
People sure. I mean, all I know, I was at a conference, this week, and so not really, I'm fine, and, I play the safe, hopefully no problems. But if I test positive, I'm certainly not going to come until I'm better. But you just don't know for a few days if you have no symptoms, and you haven't tested, and so I want to make sure I don't spread it. But by asking courage, you're kind of putting it at a level where people really feel strongly and go master.
Okay. So, thank you, everybody. Cantor and I will go into executive session, and we'll hopefully come up with a position that'll make everybody happy and comfortable. And my final words are CBS. Come back to shul. Okay, Ein Kelohenu, 400.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadonenu, Michemalkeinu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shehiktiru, Avotenu, Lefanecha, Eketoret Hasamim. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גלולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו וגבהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, הם מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, והשבותה לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, השמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת, אין עוד.
על כן לקבל אחרון האלוהים ולראות מהר ולפארת עוזך, לתקן עליו המלכות שדי. כי המלכות שלך היא,
המלכות שלך היא, ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו
I can invite those who are in the year of mourning, observing a yurtzeit, to rise. We'll find Kaddish at home on page 410. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעולמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעולמה ואמרו יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Eileen, if you might come up for greetings and announcements. And while Eileen is walking up, I just want to make mention so that it's clear that our intention is to have the evening minyan remain on Zoom. Because before the pandemic, a typical attendance on a weekday evening was 4 or 5 people. Jan, you remember, the Wednesday nights you were the leader. It would be you and Eileen and me, or maybe one other person. So we developed this very artificial system called Count Me In, where people volunteered to do X number of services just to be able to. It was an artificial way to get a minyan. So thank God, on the Zoom we're getting 15, 12, 18 every night. So that's a very different story than Shabbat services. Very different story. Okay, Eileen, it's all yours.
Thank you, Rabbi. On behalf of the officers and the board of directors, I want to wish all of you a good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. I want to say how meaningful this Shabbat service was for me, with Marley Steiner's davening and with seeing her whole family come up for an aliyah. That, to me, that just represents what Ohev Shalom is all about. I can't wait till your bat mitzvah, whenever it is. I know it's going to be wonderful. We have several events coming up. The annual Amy Perrone Torah Fund event, where we are honoring Roberta Gordon. This is a wonderful, wonderful event honoring a marvelous woman who has given so much and represents what it means to know the Torah and to do what the Torah says. And hopefully this will be the last big event that's on Zoom. So we still are in Zoom land. The event is Tuesday, April 26th. Please RSVP on your Shabbatogram so that you can receive the Zoom link to this program. Rabbi spoke about chametz and everything, so we have a wonderful social action committee. We're having a chametz drive. Get rid of your chametz, however, get rid of it all, but give it away to people who can use it. And also we have Project Hope, so wonderful opportunities where we can help out and do acts of tzedakah. These events are in April. Again, please check your Shabbatogram and the O events to find out exactly when. And again, all tied up to the same theme in terms of strength and representation in Judaism. On Thursday, March 31st, one of our members, Dr. Robert Levine, will be talking about, he will be doing the second part of his program, the Civil War and the Jewish Community, Part 2. And you can come to Minyan, as we invite you to come every weekday evening and Saturday and Sunday morning to Minyan. Use the Minyan link and stay on for wonderful programming. Again, good Shabbos to you all. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thanks, Eileen. And so, Kim, Mazal Tov on this anniversary of your bat mitzvah. This is yours for eternity now. Shabbat Parah, you're on. So, yeah. Unless we happen to schedule a kid becoming bar and bat mitzvah, maybe her name will be Remy, so it could happen something like that. Then you'll just have to sit back and take in all the nachas. Yeah. Okay, we're all invited into the Kiddush afterwards, where we'll sit around a table, eat, drink, maskless. Not because I said to, but just that seems what happens. Hard to drink and have a mask on at the same time. Okay, Adon Olam, here we go. 412.
Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed na'asa b'chefzo kol hazar mehelech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh Lehu yeh betifara, vehu echad v'yein sheni, lehamshilo leachbira, v'li reshit v'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'hamizra, vehu eli v'chai ko'ali, v'tzor chevli b'yetzara, vehu nisi umanus li menakosi b'yom ekra beyado akidruchi be'et isha v'yaira be'imruchi keviyati Adonai li v'lo ira Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom U'mevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom U'mevorach. Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.